Meet me in St. Louis, Louis, meet me at the fair.
Hi everyone, this is a new episode of From the Bump, and I'm your host Bruce Miller. And I had a question come in that I wanted to answer, and the question posed to me was, what was my favorite player growing up that I respected and admired the most? And that is a really, really difficult thing for me to process because there's so many choices. But the first one that comes to mind is one Bob Gibson. Now, I picked Mr. Gibson because the things he had to deal with, even in the 1950s, coming up with all the racial stuff, and he came from a very poor background in Omaha, Nebraska. And a lot of people didn't know that he had a scholarship to Creighton University to play basketball, and he turned that down. And Meadowlark Lemon actually recruited him. He saw him play basketball, and he had him come out and play with the Harlem Globetrotters. So Mr. Gibson could have done a lot of that. He had, like I said, he had a basketball scholarship to Creighton University, but he wound up choosing baseball, and aren't we sure glad he did? He, like I said, putting up with all those racial things was just had to be incredibly hard. And I know Stan usually helped him out a lot, but imagine going into a town and it's time to get something to eat, and you can't even go into the same restaurant as your teammates because of the color of your skin. But yeah, I think he used that on the mound and just took out that aggravation and concentration because there was nobody like he was when he stepped on the mound. That slider broke late, broke hard, and that fastball with that mean glare coming in, not too many hitters would dig in on him. I remember Pete Rose one time after he got a hit, the next time up he got dusted off and he came back and tipped his cap to Mr. Gibson before he stepped into the batter's box. In other words, yep, I get it. You rule the batter's box, not me. I'm just here trying to make you uncomfortable. But he was so incredible that in 1968 they had to lower the mound after the season because he was too good for the hitters. Can you imagine that? The leading batting average in 1968 was in the American League. Carl Yastrzemski of the Red Sox batted .301, and he led the league in hitting. So it wasn't just Gibson. There was plenty of others. Mickey Lolich and Denny McLain with the Tigers. But just think, the rules changed forever because Bob Gibson was too hard to hit. And he never bragged on himself. He always gave credit to others. And off the field, he was a very good gentleman. Well, that's it for remembering this time. Please hit that like button and subscribe. And if you got any questions, bring them in and it'll be fun to answer. Till next time, so long.